Morning, everybody. Hope you all are doing well today. Just want to make a quick mention to please remember that your reflection papers are due upcoming on the 30th of March, which I believe is a Friday. I'm going to pull that up just to verify. Oh, April, that's why. March 30th. Yes, so Good Friday. So make sure that you are completing that by 11:59 p.m. I haven't heard from anybody lately, but and that's fine. If you don't want to disclose any information about what you're doing, that's fine. It doesn't bother me. But if you do need any help, please feel free to email me. If you've got any questions, don't wait till the last minute, okay? So this is a 3 to 5 page paper. I don't want you getting stranded in terms of not knowing what to do. So again, please make sure to email me at your earliest convenience if you have any questions regarding the third and final reflection paper. So again, I know this can be a little bit difficult in comparison to the other two, but just please remember that. And please remember to make sure to turn it in on time. That link will be updated next week, so be on the lookout for that Dropbox. And as previously mentioned, I will make sure to have everybody's grades in at the very least by Friday. So I'm thinking either Thursday or Friday. So hello, everybody. Wanted to mention also that I'm going to be covering over elaboration likelihood model on Thursday. So be on the lookout for that. But today I want to cover over our midterm. So our midterm is a little later than most people's midterms, and the main reason I did it in this particular sense is I didn't want to do it right after spring break. I didn't want to do it right before spring break. I'm trying to kind of break a pattern of when most professors do this. So even though it's working as a midterm, it still acts a little bit as a final exam, if you will. So kind of treat it that way. It's not cumulative, as in, we're not going to be doing stuff in the future for that matter. But it is worth 20% of your grade. So make sure that you are going to be on the ball with that. Make sure that you're understanding what's being distributed out there for Persuasion. I'm going to go over some of the content and as well as test format and online specifications, so you can do as well as you possibly can on this exam. So the open dates now, because it's an online class, there needs to be some online specifications, which I'll go over right now. First and foremost, it will be open April 4th through April 6th. And again, looking through my calendar here, that is a Wednesday through a Friday. I will be in Boston during that time. However, I will have close access to my computer at all points in time. And given the nature of the conference, I have very high confidence that I will have Wi-Fi throughout the entire thing. So I can keep an eye out on my phone, and if anything comes up, I can get back on my computer and help you out if there's any problems. I don't think there will be. I've run a couple of tests in the past online, and I've rarely had any problems in terms of technological difficulties. But things to think about is make sure that you are at a computer with a good internet connection. Make sure that you have a browser that you feel comfortable with. I personally recommend either Safari if you've got a Mac, or Mozilla or Google Chrome. Those are usually pretty good in terms of, I haven't had many complaints in terms of test crashing, but make sure you've got something that you're comfortable with. Make sure you've got some time dedicated to it. Make sure you've got a good high-speed internet connection so that nothing messes up. This is a very strong area where I want to make sure that you don't have any interruptions given this test. So again, open April 4th by 6 a.m., close at April 6th at 11:59 p.m. Do not start this exam at 11:30 or close to the deadline. You will just not. This is not worth your time. So again, give yourself ample time, because once it's done, it's done. I'm closing it. That's the end of it. So it's a very carefully constructed exam to make sure that you're on the ball with things, to make sure that you're going to complete it in the allotted period of time. So I don't think it will take the 75 minutes. That's the time limit it will have. I do this based on my Monday, Wednesday classes that I teach in terms of having 1 hour and 15 minutes. So I do this at 75 minutes. However, if you need any additional paperwork for more time, please let me know. And we can work something out a little bit differently. But you need to email me and verify this. So again, that's very important that I have this paperwork and that we've talked about it in terms of being able to assist in what you need. So again, I will need paperwork for that though, so please let me know ahead of time. Otherwise, 75 minutes, once it's done, it's done. So be sure to give yourself ample amount of time. This will be located in week 12 of the tab at As You Learn. So obviously not up yet, but it will be very soon. It'll either be 12 or 13, but I'll make an announcement at the beginning of the week to make sure that you know it. You will have 2 attempts to complete this. And this is only in case something crashes. So if your computer goes on hiatus, if your internet connection goes on hiatus, something messes up and you cannot physically take the exam, I will make sure that there's another opportunity for you to take the exam, only if there's technological failure in this case. So if it's just you looking for a better grade, here's the rub with this. So I've had students do this in the past where they took the exam, didn't like the potential grade that they got from the multiple choice. Obviously, the essay questions would have been answered later. They didn't like their multiple choice answer, so what they did was they took it again. And I will tell you right now, my rule for that is if you want to, and that's your dead set, I mean, if you miss all of them, okay, I get it. But I will only take the last attempt if you take the attempt twice. I'm not going to take the best of. This kind of gives you the opportunity to make that risk or reward. So it's high risk, high reward if you decide to take it again. If you do, that's great, fine. If you don't, that's probably for the best. But if you do decide to take it again, I am taking the second attempt. So make sure that you are aware of that going in. So those are the online specifications that I will mention. The other one that is mentioned on the test format is that it is open book. So if you want to use Woodward and Denton, great, use them. If you want to use Cialdini, great, use them. If you want to search online for certain things with regards to Theory Thursday, great, use them. If you want to search through my videos, fine, no problem. This will be based on Cialdini, Woodward, and Denton, and any Theory Thursday material that we've covered over. It's 50% multiple choice, 50% essay. All 3 of the essays will be required to answer. So make sure that you give yourself time to write those down. I'm thinking that it'll probably be somewhere along the lines of 30 to 40 questions. I haven't written all of them. I'm around 20 right now in terms of writing everything, in terms of the multiple choice. But there will be 3 essays. Like I said, it should be pretty easy to identify what the essay questions will be. I'm kind of going to give you the roadmap in terms of what to expect in that regard. But as long as you've got the materials in front of you, you've studied, you should be fine in that case. For the essay specifically, I won't guarantee anybody a certain grade if you've studied or looked at something, but studying will obviously help in terms of locating things quickly so you can answer the question. So other content, first and foremost, you will need to look into Cialdini. So first and foremost, chapter 1, know what a fixed action pattern is. So understand the notion of what click were is. And that's going to be a very strong theory. The good thing is that some of these theories will actually coincide with Theory Thursday. So if you understand what a fixed action pattern is through Cialdini, you will be able to do so on the essay, or excuse me, not the essay, on Theory Thursday content as well. So know what a fixed action pattern is. You might also want to consider what an availability heuristic is, which is something I also covered in that same video. And then know what each of the 6 weapons of persuasions are and be able to give an example of each. This might be a essay question, hint, hint. But I may also use it a little bit in the multiple choice in terms of not only what they are, but I might give a term and a definition. I might give an example and you tell me which one is being used. I will try to make it painfully obvious so there is no misconstrual, because certain things like liking and social proofs do run a little bit hand in hand in certain parts. So again, I will try to make sure that everything is easy to identify about which one it is. So that's going to be through Cialdini. Woodward and Denton, I took out a couple of chapters that we have gone over so far. So chapters 1, 9, I think 10 as well, I took out just because of a little bit of primacy and recency effect. Because, y'all really haven't had much time to look over chapter 9 or 10. And chapter 1 doesn't have a whole lot of stuff that I would really want in it. But there is still plenty of material through Woodward and Denton. I do want you to know the terms associated with those chapters. So, through chapter 3, understand language and symbolism, know what those are. For chapter 4, I believe, understanding logic and reasoning. So we can look at reasoning claims in this case, in terms of arguments, in terms of good reason for claims, that kind of thing. And then look at defective reasoning or logical fallacies in this case. This would be another area to look into in terms of what's an ad hominem, false clause, non sequiturs, circular arguments, that kind of thing. Know what those are. Understanding ethos and source credibility, that's going to be on chapter 5. That's going to be pretty self-explanatory, but credibility as authority in terms of legitimation, mystification, two-step flow, placebo, that kind of thing. Then there's psychology of persuasion, so talking about the cognitive elements, which is also put in there, so beliefs, attitudes, values. There will also be models of persuasion that have been looked at in terms of things that we've covered over, in terms of social judgment, elaboration, likelihood, motivated sequence, but also inoculation theory, attribution theory. Just know some general principles with them. That's all I'm going to really ask with those. And again, you're going to have your books, so just make sure you're familiar with where things are in this particular regard. Others are persuasion, audiences, and social learning in terms of understanding credibility and agreement. There's a big section starting at 174 of your book that you can look at in terms of types of credibility and the agreement that is associated with the type of persuasion. The other one I want you to know is verbal and nonverbal interpersonal persuasion and relationship with conflict. So that will all be within Woodward and Denton here. Theory Thursday, you're going to be responsible for the following theories. Fixed action patterns, which again is also produced within Cialdini. There's a video for that. Social identity theory. You may even want to look into a little bit of personal identity. Persuasive knowledge model, two-step flow, which again is associated in chapter 6, I believe, of Woodward and Denton. Double check that. Nope, 5. Chapter 5. Theory of reasoned action and behavior. I might have a question dedicated to the difference between the two. So that may be something to think about. Social learning theory, as well as cognitive dissonance. There may be an essay question dedicated to understanding in completion what a theory is within these particular persuasion theories and be able to draw up a model for them. That may be a little bit difficult with your computer, so I'll have to go over some of the specifications with that, but understanding maybe the tools that go along with them will be important. So that is your exam. That's what we're going to be covering over. If you have any questions, please let me know. In the meantime, I will post this PowerPoint up on As You Learn. Other than that, I will look to hearing from you soon about your third reflection paper, and we'll get ready for the exam. So thanks, everybody. Have a good day. Bye.